Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Ruben and we will be covering personal development and growth and how one can overcome their deficiencies. At this time last year, I was in a much different state than I am now. You see, this last year has been literally transformational for me in all of the areas I mentioned above. My entire adult life, I've suffered from generalized anxiety disorder, depression, and OCPD. And these are clinical diagnoses, not me just casually saying, oh, my OCD won't let me do something. February of last year, I got hit with the bout of seasonal affective disorder, and it was my worst episode ever. I was unable to get out of bed with even the smallest tasks seeming like a mountain. This might sound a bit funny to some of you who don't deal with this, and in a way, it actually is kind of funny. I can laugh at it now when I look back. But when you're in the midst of it, it isn't like you are crying or feeling bad. That's not what this kind of depressive disorder is like. You do not feel anything. You are completely numb to everything. You don't want to move. You don't want to think. Even opening your eyes feels like a chore. And if I could have, I know this is going to sound weird, if I could have though, I would have just evaporated into the ether. Now, I had to get some help to get moving out of this. But unfortunately, even though I got help, I ended up getting hit with COVID right after this. And while I didn't get sick in general, like a fever and stuff, my ears got plugged. And little did I know that this was going to be the biggest event of my life. Because the plugged ears led to something called tinnitus, or I think some people call it tinnitus. And for the first time ever, I had a problem that I couldn't hide or run from. You see, you can't close tinnitus out of your mind in any way, because what tinnitus is a ringing in your ear that's actually not a ringing in your ears, okay? It's a ringing in your mind. Your brain is what actually causes the sound that's heard in tinnitus. And this was an unbearable situation for me, as the more you think and focus on it, the louder the sound gets. So imagine what I told you above. Anxiety, I have obsessive tendencies. So not thinking about it at this time was literally an impossibility for me. I was already coming off, this terrible bout of depression, and I get smacked with tinnitus. And to say I was obsessing on it would be an understatement. And so I got caught in this tinnitus loop where all I could think about was eliminating the sound. And by only thinking about it, all I could hear was this sound. And my anxiety, which had been in overdrive the last 4 years anyways, causing me to do such stuff as think I might get heat exhaustion on a run a mile from my house when I've run all my life. Well, my anxiety went to warp 10 maximum. It was that bad. And like I said, there was no escape. You cannot drink it away. You cannot drug it away. You can't anything in a way. Your brain is creating the sound. It's expecting, what's technically happening is this, it's expecting to hear a certain frequency. And so when my ears are plugged, it wasn't hearing that frequency, so it creates that frequency. And then when my ears get unplugged, it continues to create it. It doesn't know to turn that off. So anyways, I was forced to make a choice. Do I fight or do I not fight? And I knew what the latter meant. So knowing I have a loving wife and 2 kids, I chose at the time to fight for them, and later it turned into fighting for myself. So that's what this channel is going to be about. Because what I did to fight has not only helped me greatly with my tinnitus, but it has helped me with every single aspect of my life. All those disorders I mentioned above that I've struggled with my entire adult life have been improved tremendously. I literally can't even tell you how transformational last year has been for me. And I do want to say something real quick, and that is if you identify with what I was talking about with that depressive case, or even when I was talking about tinnitus and the anxiety I felt, this site is not going to be a substitution for that. Please, for professional help, please seek some medical help, okay? But what I can tell you is what helped me, okay? And you can do with that information what you would like. And hopefully you find something useful out of it. So that is what we're going to talk about on this channel. I'm going to go over the techniques that I learned. Because when you go on YouTube, there are tons of people who talk about lots of things, and there is so much good advice. I personally love YouTube. I think it's one of the greatest inventions ever. You can find out how to do literally, it feels like anything on here, right? And there is so much good advice, But for me, the one thing that wasn't there was, what do you do when you are at the lowest part of your life, right? Where I kind of was at that moment. I've had some bad things happen in my life, and most of it was self-inflicted, things I did to myself through dumb decisions. I struggled with alcohol a lot, and that led to some bad situations. However, this situation, and honestly, it was the worst. And what had happened was, I was like, what do I do? And I had been addicted to information for years. So when I quit drinking, my addiction actually went into the world of devices, and I just got addicted to the internet, and I got addicted to reading books. And I know that sounds weird. You might say, how can you get addicted reading the books? Well, what you do is you're reading them, you're seeing the words, you're going through them, but you're not processing anything. You're just mindlessly doing it. You're just consuming things. It's like your soul becomes a mouth, and all you're doing is consuming things. So I just scroll through pages, reading articles after articles after articles after article, but not processing anything, not applying anything, not utilizing anything. I'd read book after book after book on spirituality, on techniques, on this, on that. I wouldn't do any of them, not one of them. I'd finish one book and I'd just run to the next to consume that one. Finish that book, run to the next to consume that one. So last year, this tinnitus, it forced me to do something, to actually try and do something. And that made all the difference. The Nike slogan, just do it, right? You hear all these people out there. I heard one of these actors one time, he's one of these goofy guys. I think his name was Russell Brand or something. He was like, just do it. Just do it. You have an idea, just do it. And at first, being a skeptic all my life, I've always been like, oh, it's just some crazy guy talking. But now I truly understand what that means, because I know the difficulty in doing things. I've had issues that prevented me from doing anything all of my life, making the smallest task seem like a mountain. And last year, I had to make the first decision to do something, and I have reaped great rewards from it. Okay? And so we're going to cover some of that on this channel. And we're also I want to share with you any way that I can help you. I also want this channel to be about that too. So if you have issues, I'm not a doctor, but I just want to put that out there, that I feel like, there's something called karmic yoga, which is selfless action. And if we can all help each other to manage and to get better, then that's only beneficial to not only ourselves, but to everybody else. Okay? So today, I'm going to leave you with a quick technique, and I'm going to cover this more. It is something very small, because what I was saying is, when I was on YouTube, I was at the very beginning of the lowest point in my life, and YouTube did not have any videos to help me. Okay? Everything was too much. I couldn't do anything. Again, if I ever had a thought of something to do, I'd have a million other thoughts of something to do, and my brain would be like, this is better, that's better, this, anytime I picked something, I couldn't pick it for long because it would switch, right? So I couldn't do anything. I needed something super simple, but it wasn't out there. And so I'm going to give you something today, super simple, that can help you. If you are driving your car, if you have anxiety, right, or any of these things, if you're driving your car and you're listening to the music or something, and you notice you're lost in your thoughts, just simply say, I'm not in the present. Or you can say, I am not here and now. And the funny thing is when you do that, when you just mention and take awareness that you're not in the present, that you're not here and now, for just a little snap, your focus will come back and you will be in the here and now. Okay? Now, I know that sounds weird, but if you do that a bunch, you're going to add small, tiny bits of mindfulness to your day. Okay? So you're driving your car, you're walking, you're running, you're doing something, and you just notice that you're not there. You're lost in your thoughts. You're thinking about tomorrow, you're thinking about yesterday. All you have to do is say, I am not here and now. or just say, oh, hey, I'm not present. Just whatever you want. But the idea is put the emphasis on being present, being in the here and now. And by doing this, okay, for someone like me that could not introduce meditation, I couldn't do a minute meditation. I was introducing 10 to 15 seconds of mindfulness into my life in small little doses. And it allowed me to do bigger things. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. And another thing you can do, so I said I was going to give you one thing, but this is another thing you can also do too, is pick one task that you do during the day. So let's say you check the mail. And when you do that task, it could be checking the mail. Let's say washing your face. That's a good one. When you wash your face, or if you check the mail, I like checking the mail because when I do that, I usually just start thinking about things. Choose to make that moment mindful. So if you're washing your face, feel the water on your face. If you're walking out to a mailbox, feel the outside air. Is it hot? Is it cold? You know, is the sun out? Is the sun not? When you're washing your face, feel that water on your face. Is it hot? Is it cold? Same type of thing. Feel the moment of whatever you choose to do, whatever task you choose to do. Maybe it's taking out the garbage. Feel the bag in your hand. Just take that one small task and just try to be alert and aware of everything that's going on. Okay? So, again, let's just focus on the washing your face. I'm washing my face. What does the soap feel like in my hand? What does the water feel like? Okay, what does it feel like in my face? How hard am I patting my face? Feel all these things, not just thinking about them in your head. Feel them. Feel it with your hands, feel it with your face, feel it with your senses. Listen to any sounds you hear, the sounds of a running water. If you're walking to the mail, listen to the sounds of the cars in your street, or to nature if you live out in a rural area. Take those kind of moments, okay? So what this will do is if you're in a situation like I was, where even a minute of meditation was just impossible, is you're going to introduce small little minutia of mindfulness. And then by doing this, you will be able to meditate later on, because that's what happened to me. By introducing these small teeny bits of mindfulness, I was actually able for the first time in my life to honestly do a 1, then I built up to 2, then I built it up to 3, then I did 5, and so on and so forth. Meditation, okay? But I couldn't start with the meditation. I tried that so many times, it failed, never worked. Just, this doesn't work, right? That's the state I was at. And to be fair, that's where I was at. And if you're there, then maybe it's too much for you like it was for me. And so we got to go even deeper. We got to go lower to something even more simple. So this is the tool I give you, right? If doing it while doing a task is too difficult, then don't do that. Just do the first part, okay? Just if during the daytime, whenever, you're driving, whatever, you get lost in thought, just try to a couple times a day say, hey, I'm not here now. And get into the present, okay? Get out of your mind, even if it's just for those 15 seconds, a couple times a day. And trust me, if you do this, it will build up. So this is my first episode for today. I hope you liked it. Please feel free to leave some comments down below. And if you don't like the video, let me know also. And if you're able to do this and it works for you at all, please let me know that too. I really hope it does, okay? So all of you, I'll be seeing you again. I'll have more tricks for you that I've used. And I also think that we should do some stuff together. Like I'd like to have a daily thing where we do some of these things together so that if anybody's struggling with doing them, they can do it with other people, which I thought would have helped me. That's something I wish I had. Okay, have a great day.